Oklahoma Attorney General advises Ottawa County District Attorney to continue prosecuting Indians irrespective of judges ruling that the state lacks jurisdiction. I'm also Attorney James Worth, and we're talking about a letter dated March 3rd of 2023 from the AG's office to Doug Pewitt, the District 13 District Attorney, and it goes over the issues related to McGirt, specifically in Ottawa County, which is one of the more interesting counties in the state of Oklahoma when it deals with tribal nations. Lots of counties have tribal reservations on them. Ottawa County has quite a few on them. And since the McGirt ruling from the the United States Supreme Court in 2020, there's been a review of various tribes in determining whether they are disestablished, because that precedent says that if there was a tribal reservation established, you have to show pretty much congressional intent that it be disestablished in order for it to be disestablished. And based on historic laws that go back a ways in Indian law, if the reservation was not disestablished, if it remains in full effect to the present, and that means that Native Americans, Indians who are alleged to have committed crimes within that reservation cannot be prosecuted by the state and must be prosecuted either by the tribe or, if it's a major crime, by the federal courts. So what we have going on in Ottawa County is we have various different tribes who assert that they in fact were not disestablished when you're looking at the precedent in McGirt, and therefore that Indians in their territories cannot be prosecuted by the state. And rulings by judges in Ottawa County have dismissed a lot of these cases, and word of that obviously got back to the prosecutor who is prosecuting these cases, and he decided, along with those rulings, to dismiss over 100 cases, criminal cases filed against Indians for crimes that occurred on reservation land in Ottawa County. And that is when a letter came from the Attorney General's office where he asserts that the district attorney should be prosecuting these cases regardless of what the local judge says until they are ruled by a higher judge, Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals, or perhaps the United States Supreme Court, which is a pretty controversial suggestions because ethically speaking, district attorneys have the obligation, just like the court has the obligation, to ensure that they have jurisdiction in that court before they file criminal charges and make a ruling on a case. And here we have notice not only from the defendants who are asserting it, but also from the tribes that are asserting that the state has no jurisdiction. And now we have rulings from the judge agreeing and saying that the state of Oklahoma lacks jurisdiction because this reservation was never disestablished and is still intact. And now we've got multiple tribes suing the state of Oklahoma and Attorney Gettner Drummond, as well as the Ottawa County District Attorney Doug Pewitt. It's the Miami tribe, the Ottawa tribe, the Eastern Shawnee tribe, and the Seneca Nation, all in Ottawa County, that are now suing in federal court. Meanwhile, the Oklahoma Attorney General is telling the prosecutor there that he needs to continue to file criminal charges. Even if the judges down there keep dismissing them, they will pick up the ones that they want and appeal those to the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals. And there are various appeals still pending to decide this issue at the higher level. But it's just interesting that even though we have a ruling from the local judge and you have the United States Supreme Court opinion in McGirt, and you have the history of this district attorney dismissing these cases, that the Attorney General would come out and say, no, we need to continue filing these until somebody higher does so, because it's incumbent upon the prosecutor to ensure that jurisdiction is proper, and the local judge there has already determined the state doesn't have jurisdiction. So it does kind of fly in the face of the law and makes it appear as though the prosecution, the AG, believes that they are above the law when they're filing those. But that's what's currently going on in Ottawa County, and no doubt this will be resolved over time as further opinions come in from the Oklahoma Court of Criminal Appeals and perhaps even the United States Supreme Court. If you're dealing with a case in Ottawa County or in Oklahoma, you're going to want to talk about your specific facts and circumstances with an attorney privately and confidentially. To get that scheduled with somebody at my office, you can go online to makelawEasy.com.